Don't force me out of bed in your society. Don't push me down the road you're playing down. Don't try to fix my head, it's just your anxiety. Don't hush me now, cause I just wanna shout. Don't make me dance to the tune that you're humming. No, my body don't move like that. Don't make me pretend I don't see your shortcomings. You'll be running when I raise the black flag. Get out your bomb and fly away. We'll be dancing with our hands in the air when our new dawn is rising. To the break of dawn. You can't keep me in a cage made of tired ideas. It's rusting out faster by the day. I won't wear your leash, I won't take no deals. I won't stay quiet when there's so much left to say. I'm not buying no mirage of suburban life when there's a fire raging just outside our door. You talk about peace on earth and the summer of love while you're sleeping on pills through the war. Get out your bomb and fly away. We'll be dancing with our hands in the air when our new dawn is rising. We'll be dancing with our hands in the air when our new dawn is to the break of dawn.
I'm thinking back on all those times when I felt closed off from all that I could become, eager but too scared to climb. Wanted to please my friends, but it felt like the end of myself. I was shut down and all drained out. I was lost, so I had to change. Yeah, I shook off all the bad vibes, cut me loose from the pettiness they turned on me. But now I am perfectly free to be me. finally respect myself. I shook off all the bad vibes, cut me loose from the pettiness they turn on me, but now I am perfectly free to be me. This is who I am, this is who I am now. No matter what they're saying, this is who I am, this is who I am now. You've been hiding in the shadows way too long. You always thought that you were weak, but babe, you're wrong. Yeah, you better step into the light, just give it a try. Think that it's time you let that spark out. You've been hiding in the shadows way too long. And who cares if you might mess it up? You're stronger than the others think. And who cares if you might mess it up? Go ahead and shine, darling. Go ahead and shine, my dear. 'Cause who cares if you might mess it up? Just shine. You shouldn't doubt yourself, 'cause you're a work of art. You should know that you are perfect with those flaws. Yeah, you better step into the light, just give it a try. Know that it's time you let that spark out. You've been hiding in the shadows way too long. And who cares if you might mess it up? You're stronger than the others think. And who cares if you might mess it up? Go ahead and shine, darling. Go ahead and shine, my dear. 'Cause who cares if you might mess it up? Just shine, shine, darling. Go ahead and shine, my dear. 'Cause who cares if you might mess it up? Just shine. You're stronger than the others think. And who cares if you might mess it up? Shine, go ahead and shine, darling. Go ahead and shine, my dear. 'Cause who cares?
It's time for you to shine, and that requires you to be more confident on camera, confident in yourself, to be able to put that out there and shine so that you can deliver your message, so that you can have the impact that you're looking to have in this world. And that is exactly what we are talking about today, showing up on camera more confidently, more authentically, and getting past the fears and the traps that hold you back so much when it comes to this thing, this camera thing that trips everybody up. So I actually have 3 guests to share their tips and share their experiences and encourage you through their experiences what you can do for yourself and help you shine. So Shine from Epidemic Sound is like my favorite song right now because it is the perfect song to represent LEDA live every day in August. This is a free challenge that we're running and it's coming up in less than a week. And this is going to help you be more confident on camera. You can actually get access to that challenge right here at livestreampros.com/LEDA. You can sign up. You'll see how it works on that page. And I would really encourage you to make a commitment to yourself to become more authentic throughout this month. And so we're going to talk all about that. Kaz says, so excited for LEDA. Me freaking too. Let me introduce my guest for you today. Welcome, guys.
Hey.
Hi. Hi, everyone.
Thank you
Luria.
guys so much for popping on here and being willing to share your stories with everybody. Now, for reference sake, these three have gone through LEDA, I think multiple times each, right?
Only once for me.
I'm just once.
Whoa!
We 3 times if you add us together.
We'll go with that. Okay, so just once, and they have made actual massive progress. And so we're going to talk to them about all of that. And they also went through my program called Uniquely You Unleashed, where the whole unicorn thing came about. You just already had that unicorn thing, didn't you?
I did, but you helped me be confident to bring it out.
Good. So Stephanie is one of those people who you just can't not pay attention to. She is vibrant. She has a massive personality. And she's a lot of fun. And so she was a standout in LEDA last to go around, as all of these people were, as every single person who commits to LEDA is. But she came on wearing all of these crazy outfits. And I just remember you just being like, ah!
Yep, I just embraced it and I was out there.
But at the same time, you didn't feel confident in embracing it. So I would love for you to share what your content is, what you do, but also what is it, where did you start when it came to your feeling and the comfort level that before you joined LEDA?
So my content is I help online women business owners make their businesses shine. So I help them in shine. You can't steal my song. No, I'm just joking. So I have to tear up my little note here. No, but I help them stand out from their competition. And, you know, like with me and my little unicorn thing here, I have a background. I have 28 years in corporate America. The past 8 years, I've been doing this entrepreneurship journey. But I had this challenge last couple of years where I did not feel confident being on camera because I needed everything to be perfect. Everything had to line up. I had to feel like I was completely perfect. And with LEDA, it helped me realize that I don't have to be perfect. Just go out there and people want to see your imperfect self.
So true. So true. You
Yes.
guys agree?
Yeah, 100%.
Colter, what about you? Where did you start and what is your content about?
Okay, so for the past 8 years, I've been blogging about personal growth and productivity. I work to help people get the day-to-day out of the way so that they can make the transition from chasing the dream to living the dream. That's something that we put off and defer all too often. And I've been doing the blog for 8 years now, wanted to get into video, but one of the challenges I had to overcome was feeling that I had to be all professional and, masterpiece theater on camera, all polished and serious. And what that translated into was I might see if I could, record things. I would do pre-recorded ahead of time, too afraid of failing live. I have experience speaking in front of people, but for whatever reason that wasn't translating into speaking on camera. And I would do pre-recorded, and if I made a mistake in one of the paragraphs, nope, I'd cut it, go back, re-record it, and so then the final product would end up, you'd have all these jump cuts in it, and it didn't flow. It was, it pulled the viewer out of the experience. And yeah, after going through LEDA and having some more experience now, now I'm much more comfortable with just making it conversational. You know, if you're standing there talking with somebody, you're gonna trip over your words. You're going to have you're gonna blank and not be able to remember what that guy's name is.
I do that all the time.
It happens.
I'm sorry, what was
it
your
happens.
name?
Paul.
Oh, right.
I
I think
dished the
it's down
purple.
there somewhere. So, Colter, one of the things that I, noticed about you right away was you have this inner humor that, I saw you struggle to like put out there because of the professionalism that you felt you needed to put out there. And I always really want to encourage people to think about professionalism as the visuals only, right? All of the graphics and stuff, that's professional, but it never should touch. It runs parallel to your personality instead of perpendicular, right? Those two things don't relate to each other. The professional stuff helps your personality shine and kind of expand on that. But yeah, so I was so glad to see you tap into your into that humorous side of you that I could see peeking out, but it just wasn't quite there yet, right at the beginning. And so you've come so far. I love it.
Thank you.
Lynn, you're up next.
Hi.
What was your, where did you start? What's your content about? And like, where were you struggling right from the beginning in terms of showing up authentically?
Yeah, I stumbled across live streaming pros just by wanting to make my bingo on Zoom more interesting with a better camera, better sound. Like that was my intention. And then I learned about live streaming and I'm like, I was furloughed at the time. I had nothing else to do. I'm like, I'm going to start a channel about my fertility journey. My husband and I have been trying to conceive for 2.5 years, and I was relating to a lot of people. So I decided to show up, tell my story very vulnerably in detail, and found that a lot of people would respond to that by saying, thank you so much. You're giving me hope. You're making me feel a lot less alone. So that's what my channel is about, live streaming once a week since January. Sharing all of the ups and downs. And I think the most vulnerable moment was letting everyone know that our IVF process didn't work. And we had a negative test that we announced like on air in front of our biggest audience ever. And that was when we got the most amount of support back. So being vulnerable and learning how to be comfortable on screen to be vulnerable has been extremely rewarding.
I was crying. It was a shoot day. All of us were in there crying our eyes out. And I was like, I can't cry, I'm shooting. But we took a little lunch break and I was like, I just couldn't stop crying. And so like, that's powerful stuff right there, right? And it's not just about the effect that you're having on other people maybe going through the same journey. Or one thing people don't realize is that even if people aren't going through that same journey and watching you, you're affecting them in some way. But it's also, you said, the support that you got back, right? Where it's like, okay, that helps you go through the journey even better, right? Do you feel a sense like you have more friends and support like that?
Yeah, it's been incredibly two-way. You know, people reach out to me and just pour their story out. I'm like, I didn't ask for it, but I don't mind it at all. It's incredible when people start to connect over their struggles, especially in a similar kind of area like fertility. How you all of a sudden don't feel alone, and just that alone makes you feel supported. We got so many people reaching out afterwards, saying don't give up, and I'm praying for you, and it does feel extremely, comforting to not feel alone. Yeah,
that's amazing.
Definitely.
So that was a lot to put out there, not just that, but at the beginning of that channel, and being willing to share details like that. I think you even showed your butt, like the top part of your butt, right? When you got shots on your...
There was some crack in there for sure. Yep. Showing everyone what those progesterone shots went. Yeah.
There was a butt cam. But what made you step over that line of feeling like this is way too much to share? Because that's something that I think tons of people struggle with. Like, people don't want to hear about my shots, or people don't want to hear about the emotions that I'm experiencing, et cetera, et cetera. Can you speak to how and why you stepped over that line.
I kind of had this aha moment in the shower, which is where I have a lot of them. And it all started with a recorded video that I did. I had just sat down in front of my, camera and recorded everything. I just like spewed it out, and then I edited it together, put it on my YouTube channel as kind of like, hey, this is what we're going through. And it was actually in response to that video that people were like, oh my God, I'm going through this too. And I'm like, this needs to be an ongoing conversation. This needs to be, people need to hear what's coming up next for them. They need to feel supported what they're going through now. And then we're going to hear from people that have gone through it already. It just seemed like there was a missing kind of like live interaction thing that wasn't being told by someone going through it. It was being told by doctors and nurses and, experts and stuff. But it wasn't from someone who was like totally clueless on what the next steps were. And I think that's the scary part for people. I'm like, I need to make sure other people know that they're not like, lost alone.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I just felt like, that was what I was going to do to give back, with my time.
I love that. And so many people feel like you have to be the expert, right?
And
and
so
you don't.
far from the expert.
What were you going to say, Stephanie?
Well, I think about, how a lot of people want to present themselves as like perfect. This is how, or like even this is how, what the journey is, but not showing like all the paddling under the water, like with the Dutch, all the paddling they have to do. And what you are sharing is all those, it's highs and lows. You're not just sharing the good stuff. You're sharing everything that you're going through, and it makes people connect with you more because you are being vulnerable.
Yeah.
Yeah, they can relate to you a lot better. They see themselves in you.
Yeah.
And they might not be learning a lot because I'm as confused as they are, but it's kind of cool because now I have more people watching and they actually correct me while I'm live. And I'm like, thank you guys.
Colter, what about you? What was a vulnerable moment that really kind of challenged you or pushed you over that edge?
Oh, I would say it was probably the LEDA assignment where you asked us to get uncomfortable.
Okay, guys, if you're going to sign up for LEDA, I'm going to push you in a good way.
You're in for a penny, you're in for a pound. I mean, if you don't sign up, you don't hire a professional trainer to take you to the gym and like pamper you. You expect to get pushed.
Right.
Yep.
And so one of the LEDA assignments, you wanted us to get comfortable, and I was not comfortable going live without a script. I wanted to have a good script of what I was going to be talking about. Not even just bullet points. I mean, I wanted to have a decent script that I could go through. And so on that assignment, we received the daily assignment. The thought occurred to me like, oh, just go live and talk about yourself, which I was also uncomfortable doing. And so, all right, before I could talk myself out of it, I went live and just kind of started sharing myself. And I had a lot of fun doing it. I know a lot of the people that tuned in had a lot of fun. It was great. It was a great conversation.
Yeah.
And
awesome.
It showed that, people will tune in to see me. Mm-hmm. It's not all about the content. I mean, they might come for the content, but they're coming for me too, and how I present the content. It was one of those light bulb moments.
I love that. And that actually speaks to, like these are two very different types of uncomfortable, right? That we've heard so far. It doesn't matter. Your journey is your unique journey, and you are where you are. And that is one of the main points of LEDA, is that you are where you are and you're right where you should be. And that process of stepping over that uncomfortable line and doing the things to get more authentic and to get more confident is okay, regardless of if you're sharing your IVF experience or whether you're losing the script, right? Renee knows the fear of the script, of losing that. And I'm gonna push you, and I'm gonna challenge you, and I'm gonna ask you to get vulnerable like these guys are right now. And that's the power. That's where we tap into this and this instead of only the on-camera tips. So I would love to see you guys inside of LEDA so that you can have your own stories to share like this. Stephanie, what about you? Vulnerable moment.
I think I don't know if it was a vulnerable moment, but vulnerable moments, because when I signed up for LEDA, I guess I didn't really know exactly what it was going to be. And it felt like that whole first week, I was like, oh my gosh, we are digging deep. What is going on? But it all it was in such a warm and loving and safe environment that you create within LEDA that I felt okay to be vulnerable and talking about things that I have never talked about to anybody. Like, I've never shared some of the things that I shared in that group. And it was just amazing to be able to not just take it for the on-camera tips, which those are absolutely amazing too, but really dig up all this junk that I had inside. And LEDA has not just helped in my professional area or arena, but also in my personal life. I mean, it's just amazing. I feel like there's a huge weight that has been lifted off of me, and it's just so exciting. So I encourage everybody to do it.
Yeah, it's so funny because I always tend to think of like, okay, well, there's the personal side of the thing and there's the on-camera side of things. And I think I knew it before. I knew that everything was connected. But when we went through the Unleashed program after the last LEDA, you guys taught me how important both are at the same time, because everybody kind of went through their own personal journeys as well as the professional or the content side of things. So, you know, when you are wanting to be more authentic, you have to think about what it is you are in your personal life in order to show up authentically on camera. So that's a massive part of it.
Yeah.
And what you talked about, that you can also, like with my unicorn horns, like you can be professional and present amazing content, but I've always been this way, the unicorn horn, like the weird stuff. I've got, what is this here? A necklace. It's a pink mustache. Like, I love this kind of stuff. And everybody in LEDA, they were really encouraging and saying, you can be you. People will come, like Colter said, people will come for you and they'll stay for your amazing content. And I always kind of thought of it as an either or, like you can have amazing content or you can be yourself.
Yeah, so breaking down that barrier. Paul says, would LEDA work for somebody that's thinking about doing YouTube but isn't sure what they want to do on YouTube? We have lots of people who join LEDA who don't have a clue what content they're going to create, and part of the challenge is to help you think through some of those questions, or to fine tune what you're already doing. So yes, Paul, absolutely, that's something that you can get benefit out of. Okay.
Absolutely.
Yeah. You guys all kind of knew, didn't you? Or did you fine tune?
I had a good idea, but I pivoted a bit.
Okay.
You know, there's a question that LEDA helped me think through and really get an answer to. So. Got
it. Okay. Thank you, Einar, for the super chat. Appreciate you. I didn't have the pop up on. Sorry. Whoops. Doc Rock says, best thing I ever learned after 45 years, I learned to not give up, let's say frog, then not caring what people thought freed me everywhere in my life. Yes, there's a great book, which, you know, speaks to just that, is not giving a frog. And it's so powerful when you can tap into that. Of course, that's part of the process of just doing, right? You can't really get there without doing, I think. But let's talk about your best favorite tips, the things that you've learned. I'm going to pick on you, Lynn.
All right. So I'm going to go back to what I was saying is, like, the more that you put out there, you know, depending on what your content is, but also what Stephanie said is, you know, you don't have to be scripted and professional. I think people are more wanting the combination of your personality and, you know, the content that you're bringing, and you don't have to be an expert in it either. Just being you is a really tough thing to learn. It comes with practice. So I would say practice, and with LEDA, you know, start opening up and find that, you know, people are connecting to the things that you're opening up about, and then use that in whatever is, you know, you're connecting the most about in your channel moving forward, if you decide to do a channel. That was that a good tip? I think.
Yes, absolutely. Props to Lynn. And I think, okay, so I'm going to take a little divergent. Where are we going to diverge here for a second? Don't tip to me. Diversion? Don't use big words. Diversion. You said the phrase, it's learning to be you, right? And I think that that's one of my biggest pet peeves in this whole space of authenticity is that all obviously the fake authenticity that I always talk about. I hate the fake authenticity that people just go surface level, but people are always like, just be you. So it's like, what does that mean, right? I mean, you can kind of think about it on a surface level, but what does that really even mean? So who wants to speak to that? Is there a better phrase? Is there a way that you can identify how to just be you? Don't all speak at once.
It's a really good point. I never actually realized that before. You see that advice like, oh, just be yourself. If you want to be successful, just be yourself. But nobody ever explains what that means.
Right.
How do you get over yourself and drop the notion that you have to be Alistair Cook when you're on camera? There's one person who is Alistair Cook on camera. There's one person who is Luria Petrucci on camera. There is one person who is, pick the person you look up to. There is one person who is like that on camera, and that's their thing.
Yeah.
If somebody wants to show up to see Luria, they're going to turn to Luria's channel. Somebody wants to see Stephanie, they're going to Stephanie's channel, Lynn's channel.
Yeah.
If I have to be popular by putting on airs and being a fake, I can't keep that up. I mean, if nothing else, I'm going to lose track of who I've told what, and that inauthenticity is draining. It's going to steal your energy away.
But how do you know when you're being fake? And how do you know when you're actually being true to you?
When you're concerned about people who know you in real life, seeing you doing, people who know you from one area of your life, seeing you in a different area of your life. If you're worried about those two spheres colliding and touching each other, it's like matter, antimatter, bad things are going to happen. Then you need to step back and take a look at how you're approaching what you're doing.
That's an interesting perspective.
People who know you should be able to see you in any walk of your life and say, oh, yep, that's Colter.
Yes.
They might learn something new, like, oh, I didn't know that you tied your own flies when you went fly fishing as a teenager. Oh,
yeah.
Good to know. But it's nothing that is that doesn't fit in with what they know about you from whatever other sphere they know you from.
What about you guys?
I think exactly what Colter just said. He hit the nail on the head where and that's what I always had, was those two spheres, completely keeping them apart, where people in my personal life, they know me as the crazy person that has the big shark costumes, the inflatable T-Rex, which on Friday I'll be delivering some cookie dough that my daughter fundraised for in my inflatable T-Rex costume. So they know me as that person, but then like you said, Colter, online I was trying to not be fake. I was also presenting, because I feel like I have these opposing sides where I can be that professional person. Yeah. I can, break things down into steps where you can understand how to do certain things. But within LEDA, being able to bridge that and bring those two things together has been really helpful.
Lynn?
Yeah, there's obviously everyone's got lots of different emotions that they've got, right? And there was an episode I did recently, and usually everything's kind of like just talking about my journey, but what I experienced on the way home was a flat tire on my bike. Or no, that was a different day. Someone had busted my window on my car and stolen stuff out of the back seat, and I was pissed, and I didn't want to just show up as like the Lynn that everyone expected, but I also had to mix it in with the Lynn that everyone expects. So I was pissed, and I talked through it, and I think it's important to bring in those little things that are like, other emotions that are uncomfortable to watch, but also maintaining, I kind of, you have to push through the uncomfortable showing up pissed on camera. I don't know. That's also what I brought that to my stream that day, and that was, not the happy, bubbly, or crying Lynn, because everything, I don't know. I bring all the emotions, I guess.
I love that. That's such a great way to phrase it, because, you are a positive, happy person. And even through the IVF process, you have stuck up in that positivity. Like, you've shown up in that positivity, I should say, and you come back to it over and over and over, which we have to do to get through life, right?
Your viewers have down days.
Yes.
You know,
And allowing
Yep.
them to see that you have down days too
Yeah.
makes you more human to them and allows them to connect with you on that deeper level over and over and over because,
Yeah.
you know, one day your car is going to get broken into, one day you're going to find out you didn't get pregnant, one day you're going to whatever, right? It's
Yeah.
like it's a constant process because life is a constant process.
Well, and within the LEDA group, you made it so comfortable and safe for us to be able to show those types of emotions. And I remember there was a 3-day, I feel like a 3-day stint where I had a migraine and I really wanted to show up every single day. And I was like, the first day, like, I can't. Look at me. I am a mess. But I just turned on the camera and started recording. I'm like, guys, I'm sorry. I have a giant migraine. And usually I like forget words then when I have a migraine. I'm like, I don't even remember what the mission was today, but I'm just coming on here. And people just started posting on there with comments and saying, oh, I get migraines too. Or, oh, Stephanie, thanks for coming on and showing your emotions and being vulnerable. I'm like, oh, I've never done this before.
Exactly. Yeah. That.
And
and how did you feel after that?
yeah.
Oh my gosh, I felt amazing. And normally I'd be like, oh my gosh, I'm showing you guys the icky part of me. I don't want people to see this part. But it just felt really amazing to be able to share that. And it didn't feel icky after, like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I just did that. It was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I just did that. I lived through that. It's totally fine if that's gonna happen in real life.
That's amazing.
So you're saying nobody ever showed up on your door, like, you know, to punish you for, like, you should not have done that live today,
How
Stephanie.
dare you?
What were you thinking?
Well, I did get a message from Colter. I don't know, it was this weird guy.
Yesterday I showed up, so it was like, I don't know, it was like 7 p.m. on a Sunday. And Dean Inman went live, and I hang out in his chat room, so I was like talking, and he was bringing people on for an interview thing, as people who hadn't ever been live before. And he asked if I wanted to come on, and I wasn't wearing makeup. I had just gotten back from like a paddleboard trip, so I was yucky, hadn't showered yet, you know, blah, 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 right? And I just showed up. I didn't turn on my studio. I was sitting over there. I propped up my computer, used the camera webcam. Like, I just went raw because one of the things that was crossing my mind is I was like about to put makeup on. I was like, screw this.
Yeah.
Screw that. Like that, no. Like, I need to be an example for people if I'm going to ask them to show up on their phone and be raw and be vulnerable and just do the same, right? And so, thanks, Renee, says it was a terrific show. It was so much fun, right? And I didn't have to think about those things. And, you know, I think that's an important piece of
Keep
this.
it simple.
You got to
Keep it
keep it
simple.
simple, yes. And you don't have to be perfect. You don't have to be wearing makeup. People don't. Not a single person said, "Oh my God, Luria! Oh my God, turn the camera off!" Right? So, okay. So next, we didn't finish biggest tips, did we? We kind of got sidetracked with Lynn.
Oh.
So, Colter, your biggest tip, lesson learned that you want to share with the audience?
Oh. I'm going to have to pick a different one because I forgot the one that I had when you started this.
Oh no! Whoops.
Oh, no, that's what it was. One of the best things you can do, whether it's for streaming or pre-recorded video or life, is get comfortable with being uncomfortable.
Yes.
We like our, we build our comfort zones. We spend so much energy building this comfort zone around us. You know, the comfortable couch, the nice TV, and the nice fuzzy blanket and the cup of hot cocoa. Pick your favorite beverage. But that's not where the exciting stuff happens. We do not want to spend the rest of our lives sitting on the couch. Some days we're going to be on the couch, yes, but we have to leave the house. We have to go out. We have to get out of our comfort zone and go slay the dragon or go ride the dragon, however you want to think of this. And that's uncomfortable, to get up off of the couch and go face the dragon. That's not easy to do, but it's something that we need to do over and over and over again. And so, going live, LEDA is this microcosm where you can practice this, every day, whether whether you're feeling great or whether you've got a migraine, whether you can put on the happy face or no, you're letting the tears show. Get comfortable with being uncomfortable. That will serve you in so many ways.
And LEDA is such a supportive environment. As soon as
Yeah.
you open up about those things, nobody is going to knock you down. That is the coolest thing about boosting your confidence in LEDA is that everyone's 100% supportive.
I love
Yeah.
I love that this community is so supportive, and we are very vicious about the rules that we have, because it must be a judgment-free zone in order for people to do exactly what they're saying.
Yeah.
And so we are pretty harsh about rules and booting people out if there's anything that is concerning along those lines. But it's it's you guys who show up and who put yourself through that uncomfortableness that make it an amazing community. And I just want to say thank you guys for you to show up like that. Just completely floors me every time.
On behalf of LEDA, you're welcome.
Yeah.
And thank you for bringing us together.
Yeah. Oh.
On behalf of LEDA, April 2021, our class of 2021. Thank you.
Stephanie, what about you? Biggest tip.
So, I don't know if this is so much of a tip, maybe, but it kind of goes along. You probably sense the theme with me, like this whole perfectionism thing that I'm really getting over.
I think we all have been there.
But one of the biggest things or biggest tips that I saw in within LEDA is that everyone doesn't have it all figured out. Like, I didn't have everything figured out. And I kept thinking, oh my gosh, everybody knows exactly what they're going to do. Each mission, everybody is so polished. They know exactly what they're going to do. But when they're doing the mission, so many people are like, I have no idea what I'm doing. I get nervous with this. I mean, and they were just being vulnerable, that I realized that the people that you think that have it all figured out, they really don't. None of us do. We're all figuring it out on the fly. And it was amazing.
Can I admit something?
Yes.
I don't have it figured out either.
I'm out.
I'm out.
I'm not signing up for this again.
This is actually the first LEDA that I'm going through where I've actually pre-planned everything. Like, in the past, it's always been just like show up and do it and see where people are and like do it on the fly. But outside of LEDA, like, just generally speaking, I think that that's one of the biggest lessons that I see people take away through the process is that, oh, wow, like, this person looks super confident on camera, and yet they're saying they feel really uncomfortable and they hate everything about themselves when in fact they're like this amazing personality. And if you just start to pay attention and take to heart what Stephanie, can you hear my stomach growling right now?
No.
Okay, good.
You hadn't said anything.
Now I need to figure out how to eat before live streams.
Add it to the checklist.
So, it's this constant, if you actually pay attention to people and understand that behind the scenes, they're feeling something very different, it changes your entire perspective of things, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so somebody told me once when you're preparing to speak, when you get up there, don't apologize for being unprepared. Odds are nobody's going to notice.
Yes. No, unless you call things out, like your stomach growling, the fact that I wasn't wearing makeup yesterday, unless you call out the fact that you're nervous, which it's okay to do as well, right?
Sure.
But people don't notice that stuff. They're there for, people are selfish, and that's an okay thing, right? I don't mean that in a negative way, but people are showing up to your content because they're there for a promise that you made them of what they're going to get, right? Whether that's some tip or how-to tutorial, or whether it's, how to learn improv, or whether it's like just to hang out with me and goof off and watch me play games, like whatever that promise is that you've made to your audience, they're showing up because they get something out of it. They're really not there to pick you apart. Of course, they're trolls, but that's something different.
And I think after seeing Lynn eating broccoli in the bathtub, I was like, this changes the game. I can put my unicorn horn on, you know?
And that's such a kicker point right there. When you step over that line and you get comfortable being uncomfortable, guess what it does to other people? Pushes them right there as well.
Yep.
Yep.
How
Then
comfortable?
then you got me in the shower eating kale. So
Right.
it builds. It snowballs.
Yeah, it's just snowballed.
There is that fun element of playing off of other people's videos, because part of LEDA is you have to watch and interact with other people, you know, when they're live. I do remember Colter eating an entire bag of kale where I think I took like 2 bites and I was like, nope, I'm not doing this.
I mean,
It was only a third of a bag,
oh wow.
which I think is like 1 serving.
Oh, that's funny. Wow, I didn't realize you ate that much.
I just got
He was
going. I stopped paying
committed,
attention.
yeah.
just kept going. So we had a couple of questions. Let's see. The landlord advocate says a fear we have is going live without scheduling the live show. We will have no viewers. We're very active on Facebook. Should we be concerned? I'm going to let you guys talk about your experiences with that or your thoughts, and then I can chime in as well.
I'll jump in here. It was so comforting the first few times I went live in the real world to know no one was watching. It was like actually kind of like, okay, if this is horrible, I'm just going to take it down. You're not allowed to do that in LEDA, but in the real world, when Luria is not setting the rules, you know, I think my parents have been the only one to watch every single episode I've ever done. So like my first like 3 or 4 episodes, it was just my parents. I'm like, okay, that went fine. I left it up there. And then there was like comments afterwards on the replay that kind of boosted my confidence then to be like, oh, okay. And like it started trickling, you know, more people watching live. So start with no audience. It's going to help you.
It's very, very good advice. It helps build your confidence. It helps you figure out all the tech and like all the things,
Yep.
right? Anybody else have anything to chime in on that?
I would say if it depends on what you mean by should you be concerned about that. If by concerned you mean don't do it, don't go live. No, don't worry about it. You know, go if that is standing in between you and going live, ignore it. Just go live. If you are concerned and you want to do something about it, then yeah, schedule, set a time, let your audience know, hey, 10 o'clock on Friday, come, you know, let's hang out. Then do that. You will get to the point where yeah, you can go live. People will get the push notifications, and they'll start showing up whenever you happen to you know, whenever you show up. But if you schedule it ahead of time, you let people know, you know, when, you know, to plan for it, so that they can show up to support you.
Yeah.
Well, and then I think
Go ahead.
in LEDA too, and obviously in real life on, you know, YouTube channels, is there were times where it depends on what time you go live in LEDA that no one may have even been on there, so you wouldn't see any comments, or there maybe would have been one person. But then after that, people will watch the recorded video because it's stored in there, and then all of a sudden you'll see comments, and it's just like that on YouTube too. That they're not just going to find you for your live show. It's if you post out there too, people will continue to watch it.
Yeah.
Team replay.
That's right.
Replay.
Hashtag.
I love all of the results that people get from the replay, not just the live. So don't be afraid to go live to 0 viewers. You can over time take that into control, like what everybody's saying here, and you can have an effect on that. But like Colter said, do not let it stop you for sure. Yes, and do not depend on notifications from any platform. As Doc is pointing out, you have to take that control. It's not, they're not there for you guys. Like you're there for them and to help push their social network. They're going to do certain things for you, but you can't rely on that.
No.
So I wanted to kind of ask a couple of, one thing, there are certain things that you guys have become known for, right? And so Stephanie, you spoke to this a bit with your outfits and your fun little, you know, costume type of things. And Lynn, your bangs, right?
That's right.
And Colter,
lengths
that professional humor, right? Like, so like there are all of these different things that are unique to each of you. And as just kind of like a recap, you guys talked about not being that person that you admire and really fine-tuning or focusing in on who you are. Were those things, like Lynn with your bangs, like was that something that you focused on in the past? Is that an inside joke with your friends, or how did that come about so that people can see like, okay, these things can just come out with your audience, or they can be part of your existing world?
Gosh, I don't even, I'd have to
Don't
go
know?
back and try and figure out where it came from in LEDA. No, this is, I don't know, maybe it was because Paul Burke's got purple hair and I don't know,
were
there
just
was
kinda
like,
playing
maybe people were wearing wigs and stuff, and I was like, whatever, no one's got better bangs than I do. And I just ran with it. And then other people started like, mimicking, that someone drew bangs on their head. And
Oh,
it
that's
was-
right.
Yep.
It turned into like this, kind of like a theme for the day that people kept playing off of. It was a lot of fun. Yeah.
Okay.
But no, the bangs thing was strictly LEDA 2021 April.
Got it. Okay. So
Never again.
Never again.
Well, we don't know.
Always,
We'll
always
see what
again.
August brings.
But I think that that's a really important thing for people to pick up on. Those are what I call audience triggers. If you've ever heard me talking about that, that's the connection point with your audience that has literally nothing to do with your content. It has nothing to do with IVF or your experience going through that journey. It has everything to do with just fun, engagement, and conversation. And so the more of those things that you integrate and weave into your existing content, it makes it so much better. It makes it like the kale, like that's also something, right? And those are the power tools that you have for audience growth and engagement. So I just wanted to point that out. Join LEDA, Kat says, to see what community jokes emerge. And you can do that by going right here to livestreampros.com/LEDA. Click the link in the description or pin to the comments and sign up. We kick that off on Saturday night, 8 p.m. Pacific. You get your first mission. So that is where you go to become confident like these guys. Let's see, another question. A lot of, from Creator Economy, a lot of live streamers will just live stream only. How important is it to mix live streams and regular videos? Lynn, you do both. Coulter, you do both.
Yeah.
Stephanie, you're doing both as well, right? All of you are.
Well, I wasn't going to do both until
Oh.
LEDA because I thought, live stream my content? Why would people want to show up for a live stream? So I was just all batching and recording videos. But with LEDA, a lot of people doing live stream, like, oh, I guess I can add live stream into there. And because my audience is so small now, I'm like, it's okay if I live stream, nobody watches it, I just get a couple. It's that what you talked about, like that, is it not continuity? Why can't I think of the word now?
Cohesive?
Consistency.
Consistency, okay.
So having that consistency and just doing a live show, and I'm kind of having it morph. And again, not having it all planned out and figured out, here's exactly how I want my live show to work. I am letting it morph and grow, and kind of like what software developers do, where you just launch and reiterate on it and launch it and reiterate it. And I'm just trying things out.
Love it.
Yeah.
You guys have anything to add to that? Yeah, Lynn?
Yeah, I originally made a recorded video and edited it, and that's kind of what launched everything into the live streaming. And then I set a schedule and I went live at the same time every week. Every week since January I've been doing that. But along the way I would do edited videos. And the one big one that I did was the full process of an IUI cycle. And I edited that down and put it out there and called it full cycle of IUI or something like that. And I worked with, keywords and stuff to make it findable. It took a few months, but all of a sudden it's got over 30,000 views on there, and it's actually bringing people into my channel and subscribing. So I would say, yeah, if you can put out a good edited video to kind of complement the stuff that you're talking about on your channel, it can benefit you. And you don't have to be, I don't know, I'm not consistent with putting out edited videos. I'm consistent about showing up live. But at the mix, I do recommend.
Yeah. The mix works fantastically well, and so you just got to decide where to start if you haven't started yet, and that's something we can dive deeper into. We have workshops about that. We have live Q&As, so if you want to hang out and ask more questions about that, we can dive into that later. And then we'll end on this. So here's the deal, guys, and I will say this till I'm blue in the face. Tech I think I started off with this, didn't I? But tech doesn't necessarily matter for you getting results, showing up authentically, and being you, and being uniquely you, and having that magic kind of released. Tech doesn't matter for that. Tech can enhance your personality, can enhance your content. It can create instant credibility so people actually want to watch immediately visually. But the first 2 weeks of LEDA, I haven't said this publicly yet, is phone only. It's phone weeks. So for the first 2 weeks, so that nobody worries about getting dragged down into the tech, right? And so that's going to be a really powerful thing. We did a test of phone week, just one single week in LEDA last April, and holy cow, it made massive difference. People just were like, wow, I feel like I can be raw, I can be vulnerable because I'm just on my phone and I'm not worried about all the software and all the tech, right? And then you can add on to that, because things like ECAMM Live, like I'm using today to do all of this fancy stuff, it's powerful. It is a powerful tool. But you do need to learn how to be authentic and be raw too. So anyway, the point is that there was a question about the tech. And so now that I've gone on my little rant about that, then I'll let you guys answer this. Felicia wanted to know, what camera and lens are you guys using? And what software do you use for your streams as well?
All right, I use the Sony A6100 with the Sigma 1.4 lens, which is what I learned from Ellis Live Streaming Pros. And I have vMix on my PC, and I also have a Mac. Ooh, sorry.
And there goes the tech.
I heard that stomach growl.
Oh, yeah. Being uniquely me. All right, very clumsy. And I have a Blue Yeti Pro for my microphone. But I use vMix as my main live streaming platform.
Okay.
Yeah, on PC.
Colter?
So right now, this is the FaceTime camera that's built into the iMac Pro. I am using a Blue Yeti, just out of frame here. When I'm going live, I do use ECAMM for the processing. Right now, this is just straight into Google Chrome. But yes, I do use ECAMM when I'm going live. I have a Canon M50, which I haven't been using because for some reason it has started turning itself off at random points, and I haven't had a chance to troubleshoot that yet. So,
Oops.
So at the moment, the tech is it's off to the side. It's not stopping me.
And he's still streaming. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Yes.
I've still got a camera. It works.
Yes. And for those of you who are curious, I think I saw a question about this come in earlier. I'm using the ECAMM interview system to bring these guests in so that I can then arrange them and manage them and shut them up when they're misbehaving. Stephanie, what gear are you using?
Oh my gosh, I love technology. I am so terrible.
Not terrible.
Everything that I've purchased for my studio, I think it feels like it's been based on a suggestion from Doc Rock, because from I think
Go Doc.
Yeah, it started with ECAMM and just watching his videos from there, and then on his YouTube. But so I use ECAMM, but my camera is just the Logitech Brio right now. I wanted to get the Canon M50 or some other ones, but I haven't decided, or the Sony. I haven't decided which one I want exactly yet. But because I stream from my MacBook Pro, which has like hardly any. Oh, look at that! Fangirling over here.
That's awesome.
But I have that CalDigit powered hub because Doc and a bunch of other people have talked about you need to have plugins. So I have so many things plugged in there, my Stream Deck, and then I use a lavalier because my room is really echoey, and I have kids. There's kids always playing outside, so I thought the lavalier is kind of better and not pick up all those extra sounds.
Awesome. And I was going to say something, but I got distracted by Colter's mug. What is your mug? Comments about your mug. Oh, nice. I didn't look down to see it. I love it. Nice.
And
nice.
again, this is part of letting me being uniquely you.
Yes, exactly.
Bringing this, bring a nerdy mug on camera rather than just going with something that is more professional.
Yes.
And if you were paying attention, during the dance party, I brought in a couple of my robot pals from the shelf
Yeah.
to dance with me. So,
Love it.
but yeah, just little touches like that.
Yeah. And I want to point out that Stephanie's using a webcam and she looks pretty darn awesome.
She looks
Oh,
amazing.
thank you,
Like-
thank you. Yeah.
Yeah, you can do a lot with a little. So you're very welcome, Felicia. Thank you for asking the question. So Colter, the landlord advocates, wants to know, Captain Picard is the best. Would you agree?
Oh, I would. I dressed up as Pike for Halloween. Actually, I guess it was a year and a half ago, almost 2
Okay.
years.
So
So,
that's your
I'm
answer?
going to go with Ensign Mounts Pike
Okay.
on that one.
Fight!
Fight.
There's no fight. He can be wrong if he wants to.
You guys, I
Nothing
just
but
want to
love.
say thank you so much for spending this time to share, to get vulnerable, to encourage others. One last time, would you let people know where you are and where people can find you and what your content is about so that they can connect with you on a deeper level? Oops, that's wrong button. Stephanie.
I am right here with. Oh no, sorry. You want to know where exactly? You can find me. You see down below here, sparkleriseThrive.com, and my content is all about helping women entrepreneurs make their businesses shine, stand out from the competition. I help with systems, digital products, lots of fun things.
Awesome. And Colter.
So I'm Colter Reed. I blog about personal growth and productivity. I help you get the day-to-day out of the way so that you can make the transition from chasing the dream to living the dream. And you can connect with me at colterreed.com. If you want my YouTube channel, there's the little YouTube icon up the top. And nothing but love for Picard. He is an awesome captain as well. one of my top five.
Lynn, you're up.
All right. My channel is Baby Talk with Lynn, but you can find it at this address here because it's a lot shorter. And my channel has, up until last week, been all about my fertility journey, but now it's going to be about my pregnancy journey.
What?
Announcement!
Wait, what?
Confetti!
Where's my confetti?
Confetti button, Luria.
Oh my gosh. It's not working.
Yeah, we found out last Monday. We announced it on our live on last Monday. So this is still
missed it.
pretty new news. Yep. We didn't make a big announcement about it. It was kind of, just special for the viewers that had caught the live that day and the replay. So, yep.
FOMO.
We got,
FOMO right there. That's amazing. Congratulations.
Congratulations,
much.
Lynn.
Thanks. I'm still going to be supporting people going through their fertility journey, but it's also now going to be including pregnancy.
That's amazing.
Yay.
You guys, she is.
Congratulations.
Oh, I'm not crying. You're crying, Kat says. Everybody's giving you massive congratulations in the comments. Lynn burying the lead for LEDA. Yeah,
Yes!
Where was that this whole time?
Gotta stay to the end.
You got to stay to the end. All three of these people are worth watching, worth paying attention to, worth connecting to, and watch them. When you watch people, learn from what they're doing, not just what they say, right? And that's, I love these comments. These are amazing. You guys, thank you so much. Laura Woodmansey, it's just signed up for LEDA. Thank you, Laura. I can't wait to get to know you inside of LEDA. Everybody's still saying congratulations. Everyone can cry. No cry limit. No cry limit. Renee is right. All right, you guys ready to dance this baby out?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think I've recovered. All right.
Okay. Thank you all. Have a wonderful rest of your day, guys. And dance this baby out with us to celebrate Lynn's news. So this is going to be a little, I didn't clip this, so we got a little bit to go, but you got it.
You've been hiding in the shadows way too long. You always thought that you were weak, but babe, you're wrong. Yeah, you better step into
to the light, just give it a try. Think that it's time you let that spark out. You've been hiding in the shadows way too long. And who cares if you might mess it up? You're stronger than the others think. And who cares if you might mess it up? Go ahead and shine, darling. Go ahead and shine, my dear. 'Cause who cares if you might mess it up? Just shine. You shouldn't doubt yourself, 'cause